to his wife, that is Riniki Bhuya Sarma, where it is said that she tried to use Assam Chief Minister's influence to get a government subsidy of 10 crore. Now, this was related to a government scheme which is called the Kisan Sampada scheme. Now, apart from this controversy, there is also a sleazy cash for jobs controversy which is brewing, and where the BJP functionaries of the state have been accused. Now, Himanta Biswa Sarma, of course, is under fire because of these allegations which have cropped up. And Himanta Biswa Sarma's name now is in the list of the washing machine club of BJP, which already has names like Yeddyurappa, Ajit Pawar, then you have Narayan Rane, and many more. So the question now is that will PM Modi and Amit Shah act against their Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma? Will ED or CBI be unleashed against them? And is this not BJP's double speak over corruption? I'm joined by a very special panel, and some more people are joining in. I can see I have with me Netra Ranjan Chaudhary, who is the Congress spokesperson from Assam. Thank you so much, Netra.
Good evening.
We have Pushpraj Deshpande, who is the director of the Samrid Bharat Foundation. Thank you so much, Pushpraj. We have Samir Purkaistha, who's a senior editor with the Federal. Thank you so much, Samir. And I can see Vivek Deshpande, also the senior journalist, joining us. So we'll try and connect with him as soon as he can. But let me begin with Netra Ranjan Chaudhary. Netra, the opposition is making this as a huge issue in Assam. And I believe that the opposition has also asked for a judicial probe. Now, how far are you going to carry on with this campaign, if I may call so, because it also is putting in a way Prime Minister Narendra Modi under a big test, because he has been saying na khaunga, na khane dunga, and now when this kind of a revelation happens, so how far is the opposition ready to take this issue forward?
Well, good evening, everybody, and thanks for raising this issue. As you know, in fact, the nation knows about all the background of this huge, scam. Just to summarize, there are three aspects here. First of all, the Pride International is an media conglomerate run by Mrs. Riniki Bhuya Sarma, who happens to be the wife of Assam Chief Minister. So these organizations procured land of 50 bighas, which is equivalent to almost 12.5 acre, if I convert. And then subsequently, again, it purchased 56 bighas of agricultural land. This is one thing. Now, as per the Sealing Act in Assam, one can purchase up to land up to 50 bighas. But then how and under what circumstances more than 50 bighas of land twice it was purchased? This is question number one. Second thing, immediately after purchasing this land, which happened to be an agricultural land, this was converted immediately to an industrial land. So this is another political influence without which it cannot be happened. This is two. Third thing is this loan amount, the 10 crores we are saying, which happened to be came out with documents from questions raised from a BJP MP to the concerned minister, and Piyush Goyal, responded to that question, and which can also be found in the website of the central government. So this is not an allegations or any suspect. This is a blunt. Everything is black and white, and anybody can see. And I think in number 7, it's the Riniki Bhuya Sarma and her farm's name is there, against which 10 crores grant is given. Now, in defense, as you can see, there is lots of...
Netra, is it right that Gaurav Gogoi, who has been raising a hue and cry about this issue, the Congress MP, is there a defamation case now against him?
Yeah, I'm coming to that point, So, so now there is, as you know, there is a lot of Twitter fight between Mr. Gaurav Gogoi and Himanta Biswa Sarma. Among them, Himanta Biswa Sarma said that if there is a proof that his wife has received even single rupee, he will, leave the public life, and that they have not even applied for it. Now, this is the question number 3. How come it's possible that if somebody hasn't applied for a government scheme and still your name is reflecting among the, list of the beneficiaries? So this is declaring a false claim made by Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma. Next,
Right.
he's saying, I have not received any amount and etc. This is not concerned. We don't know. Nobody can know whether the amount was received or not. But the thing is that the project was no, the beneficiary was given to him. Now, in response to that, Mrs. Riniki Bhuya Sarma has threatened to lodge a 10 crores of defamation case. Today, if you see the press release from Mr. Gaurav Gogoi, he welcomed it. He said, yes, this is fine. And if this is a defamation case, Mrs. Riniki Bhuya Sarma should also include Union Minister Piyush Goyal and the concerned MP from BJP from Assam, because it's their question and answer that came out. And if this is a defamation case, then definitely she has to submit the documents before a court, to prove that this was a false allegation, which we welcome it. And parallelly, now we are also demanding a judicial inquiry into it. As you know, the Assam Assembly is happening. We are also demanding an House inquiry, but government is not allowing to it. So, so this is how the situation is. And during the beginning, you say that it's a washing machine. Now, let me tell you about the background of Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma. He has already passed through this washing machine because he was one of the prime suspects in the Louis Berger case. And then, BJP himself, BJP themselves published a corruption document on water crisis around 2015 before he joined BJP. And now you will not find that document in anywhere in internet because he joined and became a part of this washing machine. So this legacy continues, and now I think this is everything is black and white. So and this is all about corporate governments, about the integrity, about the transparency, and as you have rightly said, about the na khaunga or na khane dunga, and also to add into it, it's all about the glaring example of Parivarvad, how the BJP is favoring their parivars.
Right. Now, let me just inform the viewers of the Federal who are watching this live program. I did try and connect with a number of spokespersons in BJP. In fact, a number of BJP MLAs also we tried to connect with, but most of them have been refusing and declining to come for this program, saying that this issue is very, very sensitive. And that's the reason you are not seeing any BJP spokesperson on this program. Now, let me come to Samir now. That Samir, does this really look like a case where Riniki Bhuya Sarma, who is Himanta Biswa Sarma's wife, she has tried to use her husband's influence and try to get this government subsidy of 10 crore. As what Netra is saying, that it's a case black and white, which you can call it a black and white case. Does it look like that?
Whether she has actually, taken advantage of her husband's position is a matter of investigation. But prima facie, it appears because if you see the name that and it's not any individual who has given out those names. It is the ministry which has, in response to BJP MP Pallav Lochan Das's question in the Lok Sabha, the ministry has revealed those names, the list of beneficiaries, and prima facie it appears that her company got 10 crore rupees because that's there in the at least the name is there in the list. That's for everyone to see. And in her statement refuting the charges, she said that she said that she didn't get any benefit from this group, but she couldn't that's which doesn't corroborate with the list that was published even in the ministry's website. So there seems to be something wrong there, and which needs to be proved further. The question is that now this is if the BJP is really serious to weed out corruption from this country, then these kind of allegations need to be proved. And this is not only one incident. There are, as you said, there are recruitment scam, allegations of recruitment scam, cash for job scam, where Kishan Morcha, leader of the Assam BJP, committed suicide.
But in
So-
fact, Samir, I was wanting to ask you a few details about this cash for job scam. How is this issue panning out and how serious is this issue? Because it involves the BJP functionaries as well.
Yeah, 5 persons have been arrested by the Assam police so far, and all of them are BJP functionaries. They can, to their credit, the Assam government may claim that, look, we have arrested 5 people, but this need deeper proof. If you compare this to the Bengal similar scam in Bengal, cash for job scam. There, once CBI and ED started investigation, court monitor probe, gradually several names, bigwigs were caught in this scam. So a deeper proof is needed, both for cash for job scam, the land scam, and the subsidy scam. And this is, as of now, there are allegations, but these are serious allegations which need to be proved.
But you were saying that the probe will have to take place. Now, Pushpraj, if I may come to you, that even if the probe takes place, will the probe reach its logical conclusion? Now, as far as the corruption issue is concerned, we've seen the issue of Adani, we've seen it in Maharashtra, we've seen it in West Bengal. All these people who have switched over to BJP, there is no ED behind them, there is no CBI, no investigation against them. So do you think that this particular probe, if at all it happens, will reach its final conclusion or a logical conclusion?
Hi, Niluji. So what I wanted to basically talk about is 2 things. There is both a normative and a moral issue here. Our earlier panelists have already spoken about the state level issues, so I don't need to repeat those very legitimate points that they have raised.
Right.
Instead, let me focus on the national issue. One, as you rightly pointed out, Prime Minister Modi came to power on Na Khaunga, Na Khane Dunga. And he has constantly been stumping on dynastic corruption. He said it from Red Fort this year as well as last year. And he also raised it in the floor of the House when he was answering the opposition on the no confidence motion. Now, given this, it is incumbent on Prime Minister Modi to immediately set up an all-party JPC in Parliament on one hand, and set up an SIT that can impartially investigate this issue. That is, if there is nothing to hide, this is what the Prime Minister should do, not only because this is a sitting Chief Minister, but because he takes moral authority for the entire BJP. He has always, the BJP stumps on Prime Minister Modi's name, therefore the buck stops with him. That's my personal point. But I'm not very confident of this happening because time and again, Prime Minister Modi has swept every issue of corruption under the carpet. Let me give you 3 examples. Just last month, there was a huge scam in the Prime Minister Jan Ayush Yojana, Ayushman Bharat scheme, where thousands of crores vanished because they were spent on expenditure on ineligible beneficiaries who did not exist. They were just on paper. Secondly, the Adani report scam. The Adani reports, multiple of them, pointed to round tripping, pointed to artificially boosting up of stock prices. Nothing on that. In fact, the SEBI committee, which was supposed to investigate that report, was stacked with people who are connected directly with Adani. So there was conflict of interest and nothing really happened. The highway scam, the Ayodhya land scam, multiple things have happened. In fact, one estimate says that there are over 7.5 lakh crores of scams that have happened in the last 9 years. The Prime Minister has not done anything about this. So like this issue, I don't think anything is going to happen. And the BJP's tried and tested tactic is that if there is any corruption scam, let's just black out the media, let's just black out Parliament. That's their tried and tested scam. Now the issue here is, while this is a legitimate scam, whether it's 1 rupee or 10 crores or 100 crores, there is a scam. If there is someone, it is incumbent on, as the spokesperson from Congress said, it is incumbent on the chief minister to resign, taking moral responsibility. Lal Bahadur Shastri did it, he should also do it. Now the point is that Prime Minister Modi is the only authority in the BJP who can actually enforce this. Does the buck stop with him? Will he enforce this? Or is it now khaunga or khilate rahunga?
Right. Of course. Now, Vivek, I was just looking at a clip, on the Twitter, on X, where a reporter apparently tried to ask Amit Shah about this scam in Assam, and where he said कि ये सवाल पूछने का नहीं है, मैं इस पर कुछ नहीं बोलूंगा, because basically saying that he is not going to say anything on this particular issue, which very clearly says, which shows that, they will not take any action against Sarma. Now, if I may talk about the double speak of BJP on corruption, is BJP getting more and more exposed now? Because if you remember, even during the G20 summit, Prime Minister said that we have a zero tolerance policy for corruption. But looking at them within the party, how things are happening, they get people from other parties who were accused of corruption. And as soon as those people join BJP, they become holy, they become pious, they become corruption free. Now, what about this double speak of BJP? What would you really say?
There is no double speak. In fact, they speak only about one side, and for the other side, they remain silent. So there is technically no double speak. See, what I feel is our public and political life was always riddled with corruption. When Congress was there, corruption was there, and this whole BJP government came to power on the plank of corruption. But what the difference between the BJP and the Congress regime is that BJP has embedded corruption in the system itself. So they have very cleverly embedded within the system. The example is PM Cares Fund, and then this electoral bonds. So demonetization is a very systemic corruption because that gave an opportunity to many people to whitewash their black money. The whole black money came back into the system. That we all know how it all happened. And there were also allegations of some BJP leaders laundering that money with the 20% commission and so. Of course, that will never come to light as long as the BJP is in power. But the BJP has very systematically embedded corruption in the system. They say that PM Cares Fund is beyond the right to information. They say that electoral bonds, the names of the donors cannot be revealed. We know most of these donations, political donations, have gone to the BJP, and they don't want to reveal the names of the people who are donating to the BJP. So it's clearly a scam. I mean, it's just that officially they have put it behind a veil of secrecy. That's all. But it's a scam all the way. And the manner in which the BJP has operated, this is one thing. I mean, in the system they have embedded it, and outside the system they have brazened it out. Like, for example, in Maharashtra, when for the first time Ajit Pawar took oath with Fadnavis in 2019, when that 72-hour government came to power in Maharashtra and failed. Just before that, this Parambir Singh, who was the DGP of Anti-Corruption Bureau at that time, he gave a clean sheet to Ajit Pawar in that irrigation scam, which the Prime Minister says was to the extent of 70,000 crore. Before they actually inducted Mr. Ajit Pawar into the Maharashtra Cabinet as Deputy Chief Minister. So Mr. Pawar was given a clean sheet by Parambir Singh, and we know how Parambir Singh played to the BJP's tune after that. So this whole thing, and look at the corporate social responsibility scam. What has happened is, over the years, most of the CSR funds of various companies have gone only exclusively, mostly to the RSS organizations. So we know how Mr. Ratan Tata traveled thrice to the BJP, the RSS headquarters in Nagpur, which was quite unprecedented. Never in the past had Tata or any industrialist traveled to Nagpur to meet the RSS chief. And we know how corporate social responsibility funds have gone exclusively to all the RSS functionaries. And as a result of which, we see plush RSS offices everywhere in the country now, and BJP's offices. So where does this money come from? This money is certainly not well gotten. It certainly is ill gotten. And this will be probed once this government goes, if and when this government goes. So BJP is itself corrupt, not only itself corrupt, but it has protected the corrupts when the corrupts have chosen to join the BJP. And very famously, we know how BJP has now been called the washing machine. And I know much before this happened in Nagpur, there was a corporator who had several criminal cases. I mean, there was a criminal who had several criminal cases against him, and he was sought to be inducted into BJP. And a very prominent BJP leader in Nagpur said, "So what? I mean, if Walia comes to BJP, he becomes a Valmiki. So why not?" So that is the kind of alibi that they are giving. So
Right.
overall, BJP has absolutely no qualms about being corrupt. It has no qualms about protecting the corrupt. It's the very plank on which they came to power. They have demolished that themselves, and they are brazening it out. And the people who are supporting the BJP are refusing to see the corruption that the BJP is indulging in, which is of gargantuan proportions, much bigger, much higher than the corruption that we have seen in this country so far. But where does it go from here? Nobody knows. As far as Mr. Sarma's case is concerned, it's so clear that there is a corruption in this. But as Mr. Amit Shah says, he's not going to speak about it. That means he's not going to probe it also. So we clearly see that Mr. Sharma will get scot-free with this, like many others have. So there should be no surprises here.
Right. Samir, if I may come to you, and we must talk about the role of media. And I wanted to know from you, because I haven't been following the Northeast media. How is the media in Northeast really taking up this issue? It's important to talk about this fact is because Himanta Biswa Sarma's wife already has a media company. They have a channel, they have tea gardens, they have resorts. They're quite influential. So how is the media really taking up this issue in Northeast?
Well, see, this issue has become too big now to be just just to black out. So media, of course, is highlighting this, and since the matter has been raised in assembly, and also now, if you see within the BJP also, Himanta Biswa's position is gradually eroding. Several senior BJP leaders started raising question about his style of functioning. So, so he is now in a very sticky wicket, and that's why.
Come to Pushpa.
Yeah.
Complete your point.
So that's why I think, though as other panelists and you also pointed out, nothing much likely to come out as far as the probe or investigation is concerned. But within the party, Himanta Biswa Sarma his wing might be clipped, or he will get some directive. That is what the indication we are getting from the BJP high command.
Okay.
Because this has come at a time when there is murmur of this thing dissidence within the BJP. So the timing of this so-called scam is very important, and all this scam, somebody might from within the establishment might have leaked.
Something which is very interesting, and I want to know from you that BJP has a record of changing its chief ministers. Now, given the fact, the kind of dissidents you're talking about, is there a possibility where BJP might remove Himanta Biswa Sarma if the scam is so big, where BJP is suffering a face loss?
See, immediately he may not be this thing removed, but certainly his wings will be clipped. And how things function. These documents, particularly about the land deal,
right?
This was definitely leaked from someone within the establishment,
right?
So you can well understand how things are going on within the BJP.
Right. Right.
This
okay.
is an indication that everything is not well within the Assam BJP.
Right. Okay. Pushpaj, you were raising your hand. Yes. You have to unmute yourself. Pushpaj, unmute yourself.
Yeah, I wanted to make two quick points, Neelu ji. One is that following up to what Samir ji was saying, the issue is not just about the Assam BJP. This is also about the national BJP. you do realize that given the faltering image of Prime Minister Modi, the fact that there is a lot of scams coming around, the fact that they are rattled by the India Alliance, the India Party, so on and so forth, the BJP doesn't know what's happening. I mean, it's constantly catching up now. There is murmurs from within the RSS. Vivek ji can of course attest to this, that it's high time for the duo to be shifted out, and there is a battle for who's next. And Himanta Sharma was, of course, vying for a national role. So you could also, I mean, this is, of course, a speculative argument because the BJP is a black box and no one really knows what is happening. But the rumor mill is that this is an inside hatch job from the BJP, that the BJP itself, the possible contenders for the top job or certainly top positions in the national level, are now sniping at each other. This, of course, the CM of UP, the CM of Assam, the Deputy CM of Maharashtra, the Transport Minister, the Union Transport Minister are all names that are being floated around. And all of them are beginning to sort of take pot shots at each other and are leaking things to their, the skeletons in their closets are being leaked by their rivals. So this actually shows that not only is the Prime Minister's position weak, but even the second command is not in sync. And if anything should happen, this is just going to crumble like a pack of cards. That's one point. And the larger point is that, see, all of us will get it's like reality TV. We'll all get very interested in what is happening, and they're fighting with each other. They're not taking, there is corruption. It's like a reality show that we're watching. But the larger issue is that every money, whether it's 1 rupee or 100 rupees or 10 crores or 100 crores, every rupee taken away from that goes into a scam, that goes into corruption, is a money taken away from you that is meant for your development, for your welfare. And the fact of the matter is, in the last 9 years, 7.5 lakh crores of money that is meant for your welfare, your social, economic, and political well-being has vanished into the BJP's coffers. That is money that is being used to fuel the BJP's propaganda and election machine. As responsible citizens, we should be asking questions as to why the BJP is doing this. We need to hold them accountable. And if the Prime Minister is genuinely interested in a corruption-free government, he needs to take moral responsibility for this and start by cleaning the closets in his cupboard.
Absolutely. But whether at all he'll take the moral responsibility is $1 million question. But Netra, if I may come to you, I was reading a statement of Himanta Biswa Sarma where he says that if you can prove the allegations, I'm ready to retire from the public life. Now, that's a big statement coming in from the Chief Minister. How would you really, I mean, are you going to take this statement with a pinch of salt?
See, the people of Assam is very aware that, about the credibility of whatever Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma said. If I can recall, around before 2021 election, he said that I'm not going to contest these elections, and maybe this will be the candidate also. So then we all know what happened. So whatever he claims, nobody takes seriously. I'm telling you, from ground level, nobody takes seriously whatever he says. And coming to this, if it is proved that he said, what need to be proved? It's not an allegation, it's all black and white. Everything is there. There are 3 allegations we said. How a person can buy land, massive land, violating the Sealing Act. How is it possible that without his knowledge, the agricultural land is immediately shifted to industrial land, and then this, grant from the central government, and which he's saying he even applied for? This is quite laughable. And coming to in this context about this job cash for job scams, believe me, it's could have like Vyapam case, what happened in Madhya Pradesh. There is one BJP
like
female leader.
Vyapam, you are saying.
Yes, exactly. There was one female Kisan Morcha leader from BJP. She was admitted to suicide for this, and that's how it got unfolded. Many of middle-level leaders were apprehended by police, and they took some influencing leaders from BJP as well as RSS, and nothing has been happening. I'm telling you, from ground level. So as our respected panelist says, the overall sort of investigations can be easily imagined the way it is going. But believe me, this is like Vyapam of Assam. So and coming to media, you're saying this. I'd like to give you one figure from January 2022 to March 31st, 2023. 141 crores rupees were spent only for advertising in local newspapers. So we can easily understand, the media's situations also. In this context, I would like to say, though maybe not relevant to this topic, recently in G22, we have all said the freedom of press. Joe Biden was not even allowed to hold the press conference. He need to organize it in Vietnam. And importantly, he said about two things, uh, uh, religious tolerance as well as press freedom. So I think this is enough hint at global level, in spite of all these, 4,100 crore celebrations of G22, what is the, prestige of India before global leaders, what they have realized is. So everybody is aware of it. We believe that somebody can fool few people for some time, but they cannot fool all people for all the time. So we are constantly raising these issues. We are ready to face any defamation case or anything else. We are constantly demanding for judicial probe. So let's see how it leads. But then definitely this is an acid test for Prime Minister Modi also.
Right. Of course, it's a litmus test for Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and also to do the walk the talk. But for the concluding comments, I'll come to you, Vivek, that I'll just take a cue from where Netra said that it almost looks like Assam's Vyapam. If that is the case, and what observations Pushpraj made, do you think that BJP is reaching a situation at the national level and also at the state level where things are just imploding? And it is just because the media is quiet, media is not reporting it widely, people are not getting to know of it. But something is really rotten within the BJP system now. Can we say that?
Yeah, Nilu, I think there are rumblings within the BJP that we know. We can surmise it from the manner in which things are heading. The only thing is that they don't allow it to come to the surface. But the manner in which the story has come out in the open, as somebody just pointed out, that this was given in reply to some question. So it has come, this information has come from the government itself. Imagine a Modi government actually, getting the CAG to write a report about the Surface Transport Ministry where a scam has been alleged. I mean, and we know this ministry is headed by Mr. Gadkari, who is not on good terms with Mr. Modi. So clearly there is some internal strife in the BJP where the people at the top are trying to clip the wings of the people who they seem to be, who they feel are becoming very ambitious, or maybe contenders for the job of the prime minister, or in line for that. So there is clearly something going on within the BJP which we are not getting to know from outside, but we can make it. We can make it out and we can feel it. So as we know, there is disquiet within the RSS also about the manner in which Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah have been operating. And this thing is not going to...
Vivek, I wanted to ask you, what level will RSS be tolerant of BJP's corruption? Whatever corruption is seen within the BJP ranks, to what level will they be tolerant?
No, the RSS has got tied down because the RSS is going to celebrate its centenary next year, in 2025. So at any cost, they want the BJP government to survive. It doesn't matter whether the BJP's government is headed by Mr. Modi or Mr. Gadkari. They want the government to survive, and they will not do anything silly that would upset the BJP's apple cart. So Mr. Modi knows it too well that RSS needs him more than he needs the RSS. And that is where the RSS is problem.
Will also compromise with corruption because even they have to survive.
They have. No, let me tell you, any right-wing project like the Hindutva project of the BJP and the RSS Sangh Parivar, it is inherently corrupt. It has to go through the route of corruption. It cannot survive without corruption. It cannot prosper without corruption. As I told you in my first narration, how do you account for the kind of money that has come to the RSS organizations as CSR funds? I mean, there are several organizations like Litfests and all, which they have taken over, which they have forcefully taken over from people who were running it earlier. So it all boils down to money that is involved in those things, and they have collected all that money. They have mastered the art of taking over organizations and using their money for their benefits, for their project. So they are inherently corrupt, and I don't know whether this is going to implode at some point in near future, or at some longer period of time. But this is going to implode for sure at some point of time in future.
Right. Both Pushpraj and Samir have been raising their hands. Pushpraj, I'll come to you. A quick comment from both of you, and then I'll wind up the show. Yes, Pushpraj, over to you first.
No, so just to add on to what Vivek ji was saying, see, the Prime Minister and the Home Minister have already outlived the utility ideologically for the RSS. They have done whatever they had to do. Now the fight is for who can do better, who can sort of out Modi Prime Minister, who can out Amit Shah. So the issue is that all the second-rung leaders are now vying for the top spot, are now vying for national leaders. So issue is who can help them deliver ideologically, who can help them deliver politically, and who can help them deliver financially. This is the game that is going on, and all of them are now, the battle is underway. It's well underway. And the fact is, we might not be aware of the nuances or the details of what the battle is, but this factional battle is well underway. What is now happening, the various camps are now coming out, is basically each faction is taking pot shots at each other. So we should be, I would think that this is going to even escalate further.
Right. Okay. Samir, you wanted to make a point? And then I'll end it.
Basically, see, this kind of selective targeting of opposition, what it is doing essentially is that people is more and more losing faith on this so-called fight against corruption and all. And Bengal is one of the example of that, because if you see that similar cash for jobs scam happened here, several ministers and several senior leaders of the TMC has been arrested. But despite that, if you see, the TMC is electorally doing well, because now there is a common public perception that, okay, these are witch hunting. Actually, TMC is getting sympathy. So this is lead to, indirectly, this is again, instead of fighting corruption, this is actually encouraging corruption, and which is a very serious thing. And I think BJP cannot, it cannot go on ignoring this. After all, its electoral plank is getting weakened because of this.
Right. And I'm just wondering what happens once the campaign for 2022 begins, and also for the state assembly elections. Will all this become an issue? And also various questions that, will the Prime Minister act against his own Chief Minister? Where is ED? Where is CBI? And of course, the special session of Parliament now beginning from 18th to 22nd September. We'll have to wait and see whether this becomes a big issue. Thank you so much, all of you. Netra, Vivek, Pushpraj, Samir, it was wonderful having all of you on the program. And one appeal to the viewers who are watching this discussion: subscribe to our channel, send us your feedback, and stay tuned to the Federal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
all of you. Thanks. Bye.